Good morning. Middle of September, the 15th. What is happening? How's it going, Austin?
It's going good. It's going good. Yeah, middle of September, middle of the month, and we said it'd be a busy month. It's shaping up to be that way. Lots of interesting stories to follow. I know
Yeah.
there's probably a few that people want us to get into, so let's just jump right into it, Andrew.
Well, the big one, of course, and we're getting lots of phone calls yesterday, was Desert Mountain Energy. Of course, everyone knows how fond I am of it. Yesterday was nonstop texting, writing, calls about Desert Mountain Energy. And we're going to talk about a little bit about it right now. But I guess the overall message is I'll be speaking with the company later on today. We're going to do an interview. So we're going to get all of these specific questions answered as best we can. If we look at what happened yesterday was, although it's commercial, the grade was like 1.19, say 1%, just over 1%, which is commercial grade. This is a big step from, the 4 to 7, 8% range that they had on the first three. So there's disappointment. So people right off the bat will see 1%, boom, sell. This happens a lot. People don't wait around for explanations. They get worried and they just dump. We saw that yesterday. Lots of dumping, and it's just dump. Now, to play devil's advocate, the release itself, there's a lot in there, but also a lot missing. So we're going to go over that, and maybe they can't say, this is a fine line between what you're allowed to say with IROC, what they will take out. And I know that that's been an issue for a lot of companies when they say, we want to put this in, they say you can't. We want to put this in, they say you can't. And it is this dance of legal talking with the Securities Exchange Commissions and the different listing places to say, we can't say this, we can't. So there's a lot that we do know, and we know that they were able to report on 2 of the 14 zones. So obviously the question is, well, are we not allowed to talk about the other ones, or what were they looking like? Are they optimistic about them, or is it pessimistic? So this is one we'll get into. We know that it's a high pressured system, so they hit on that, which is a very good indicator, because yes, grade is important. It's great, but also you need to know the flow rates, and that's going to be key going on. We know also that because of the nitrogen in the water situation there, it'll make it a lot easier and cost effective to get out. So that's the plus there. Some of the negatives, of course, are that I think most people have kind of, when they looked at it, they discounted the first 3 because there is the lawsuit with Flagstaff, although we feel very comfortable and confident that will be that will get a positive effect, but that could be months down the road. So People, I understand it. People look and they go, we got the news. It wasn't what I was looking for. We're in a chaotic market. Dump it. Get out. And that's what happened. And it dropped so much that we saw a big pullback again today with people that, I guess, you shake out the people that are trading this and that don't really follow the story that much. And they get a little nervous. They get shaken out. And the people that are believers are piling in and buying it cheap again. So myself, I'm a believer. There's a lot of numbers being thrown around here and there, but it's tough because, you need to see all of the data. And once again, I don't want to talk out of school just yet. We're gonna talk to them today. We'll run through some numbers with them to say if I'm on track. But there's a huge upside here, and I kind of remind people that this was a big, I won't even say a step out. This was a totally different zone. So this number 4 was always challenging for them. I think people have known that because it's been frustrating for Robert, the team, with COVID, everything else. The hole itself was tough. So to make a win out of it, which it really is, it's commercial grade. That it's profitable. It's just the disappointment, I think, that people have when they just see, this isn't what I was hoping for. I get it. It's justifiable. But for me, I don't look at companies that way. I don't trade on news like that, and I don't look at this as being negative. It's not, it's not jump up and down, exciting, but no, they're still growing up. There's a huge upside. There's lots of exploration upside on this package itself to see what the other zones look like. Because it didn't have that eye-popping, 6 to 8%. But this is, once again, it's an entirely different field. and there's still a large upside. I know people will be also questioning what's happening with the plant. So can you give us details? When's that going to be done? Because we know that got pushed a bit as well due to COVID, due to everything else for production. So I think it's going to be great. My understanding is I think they might host a town hall. Once again, I'll confirm that today with them as well. But I don't want this to be the entire Desert Mountain Energy show, but it's definitely enough that from the people that have called me and expressed concern, and I knew that it would drop a bit, but I was surprised at how much. But when you see it pick up again, I'm confident over the next weeks and months it's going to pop up again. I think as well, once I get the video out with Robert and he's able to discuss things, especially a town hall. They had like 130 people when they held a town hall. What was it? I want to say back in August, July.
That sounds right. Yeah, maybe July. Yeah.
And one in January. But they had a lot of people. They answered every question, and there was a huge response from that. So seems to be the best forum where they can discuss things and people can ask the questions. It's just tough when you look at the news release and you think, oh God, I thought this was supposed to be 7-8%. And it says 1. It's like that hole says 1. Yeah. So put everything in context. We'll look at everything, package up together. We'll see where we stand. But of course we can't deny that was a big hit yesterday. I was even shocked, like, oh my goodness, what's happening? But I'm certainly not selling. I didn't sell any of it, and picking up more of it as we speak as well. So that's Desert Mountain. Can't not talk about it because that's a big drop for anything in one day.
Do you think it's almost in that kind of sense? Are they maybe a victim of their own success with that drop? Like every release, every well drilling was so positive, so encouraging that you see one that's still good, but it's not that 6-7% that people might be looking for, and then that panic sets in, and my God. So I think that's kind of a little bit of what happened there too. And then it is important for people to understand, you made the point about the news releases, the amount of back and forth that these companies have to go through before they get one of these news releases out. What can we say? What can we not? It's not as simple as, I start up a company, I start, getting some assay results, and I just throw all those out there and I'm just saying, we're doing this. It's not that simple. There's a real technical back and forth between the legal teams. So it's important for people to wrap their heads around that as well. But I mean, big drop, important to address it. But I'm in the exact same boat as you. I'm not selling any, and I'm in fact buying more of it because it's on sale. So.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's a big part too plays on the inferred resource. Like, I mean, that's when you're looking at oil and gas or gas of any kind, even in mining as well. There's the proven, provable, what's on reserve, what's estimated. All of that becomes very questionable. And what model are you using? Whose model? So it isn't that simple, and especially when you're dealing with reserves. Like what can we infer from this? And that, of course, early on will be, like you said, you set the bar up here. And even though Robert came on, even with me on an interview and said, listen, I can't hit every hole. Like we're 4 for 4 right now. So like this is still a hit. They hit, it's commercial. So it's a hit. It's just when you set the bar up here and then it's like here, people will think, oh, that's a loss. Like, no. It's they've hit 4 holes for 4. This is outstanding. It's not as, what we'd like, but you have to also remember what business you're in. And that's, it also kind of tempers the longer term outlook for it. And I think we'll get some answers. If you can think of anything, type it in here, send us a quick message, send me an email. We're going to be talking to them later on in the day, and I'll be happy to express those questions you have as well. And also, hopefully, I think they're going to do this town hall. Reach out to us. We'll send you the invite. But I'm looking forward to it. We'll have more answers. And I think we'll see, once again, long term. We look at companies. We don't look at just trading. We don't look at news as being their trading event. We look at companies, teams, projects, and we still feel, of course, very confident in what's happening there.
Yeah, no, it's still a phenomenal project, phenomenal team. That hasn't changed. It's just, it's a little bit of the hype in the trading news around it, and we talk about it all the time. Being firm and solid in your investment strategy helps you through these kind of times because you can say, no, it's still a great team, still a great project. I'm not worried.
Yeah, and we have the luxury. I mean, this is our job. I mean, I get the luxury to go through everything, have people reach out, give me their well, what about these numbers? How's that look? And then them give me their interpretation. For a lot of other people that look at this and go, "Oh my God, like it's dropping, it's dropping." The first thing is panic, just sell. So it's take that with a grain of salt too. Is that we have the luxury of doing this all day long and being able to reach out to people and to act a bit more, calmly and reasonably.
Yeah.
It's tough if you're on the other end, and I get it. Like if I wasn't doing this job and I'm at work and then I see, oh my God, this thing's dropping, and you look at 1%, you panic and you just dump it. And then maybe you get home, you read a bit more and you think, oh, okay, maybe not. Maybe I should get back into it. So it's not a fault of anyone. It's just these things in such chaotic times as well, when there's so much uncertainty. It's not hard for that to happen. So, but let's move on. I know you want to talk about this Royal Winds.
Yeah, so I know we kind of teased it on Monday that we both had a couple new companies that we had looked at, some things that caught our eye. And for anyone who follows the show along, they know that I'm into gaming, I'm into tech. Those are things that are kind of right up my alley. And Royal Winds was something that we were introduced to and got us both really excited right away. And we're excited to kind of be looking at them going forward. So what is Royal Winds? What do they do? They're essentially an online video game on your phone app. They're an innovative game studio. So they do wagering, betting style mobile games, casual games. They really like the idea of having, reward skill-based ones rather than just straight up gambling kind of games, which is very cool. They've been around since 2014. They develop and operate like real money wagering skill games, but it's based off your actual skill and ability, not just playing slots. I'm not just going to throw $20 in a slot machine and hope that I see a bunch of sevens come across the board, right? It's actual, kind of fun, combative games. You can skill up. You can, test yourself. You can get better at the games as you go. You're not really going to get better at slots throughout your life. You maybe just might get more lucky one week than others. It's
that AI component, that algorithm, which adapts to you, that is so intriguing, and that they've really been kind of recognized for, because if you're awesome at the game, it's a little bit more difficult, and the wagering is the prize money is a bit higher. If you're not so good like me and you've got slow thumbs to do stuff, you still have a chance of winning. So it's scaled back a bit, but it hits that reward center where you're like, oh, I'm improving and I'm making a bit of money because I can bet on it. So it's fun. It's something people, if they remember like Clash of Clans or Candy Crush, it's like candy for the brain. You're playing the thing while you're traveling on a bus or getting to work. And these things, I mean, like Candy Crush, I think at one point was like $1.2 billion revenue. So they're huge, they're scalable. People like them. And, this is something that we were attracted to.
Yeah, and I mean, we were attracted to it because the team around it is very interesting. They've got a really cool vision. I know you and Peter sat down this morning, kind of doing an intro video. We're hoping to have that out in the next couple of days for people to take a look at. But it's what really makes it exciting to me as well is looking at kind of the gaming and gambling market, because it does still fit into the gambling market, although it's more skill based. That's still the kind of funnel it falls onto. We are in the perfect time of year for that to be very successful. I mean, if you look at gambling stocks across the board, you can look at bigger ones like Penn Gaming in the US or The Score, which I've told the story of The Score before, which I was involved in for over a year and a half. They go on these kind of trends where things look very positive in the fall and winter. And those just are, I mean, it kind of makes sense on a surface level of, okay, well, more people are inside, on your phone, using the stuff like that has a bit of a play to it as well. But another big reason that gambling and gaming does so well in the winter is it actually coincides with football season, and more people who are into these kind of games will be sitting inside during football season. They're either betting on games or they're playing other games while they're sitting there watching football go up, or they're even doing fantasy football teams. So you can see this interesting trend as we move into the fall and into the winter of gaming and gambling stocks actually performing better in these 6 months of the year than they do in the other 6 months of the year. So it's a perfect time to be looking at Royal Winds and saying, how are they going to jump on that kind of already market trend that has taken place over the last few years, not even just the last year, looking back kind of over the last 3 or 4. It's a really exciting time to be getting into that market as well. And they've got really cool games. I mean, I encourage anyone to go download Cash Carnival, which is their kind of platform flagship. try out some of the games. They're actually really fun. They're enjoyable. It's a cool company led by a really cool, smart team that has a really interesting vision for where they want to go, and
Yes.
a great strategy. And that's what makes me excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, even their advisory board and people on the board, pretty impressive. And once again, and we talked about it. I mean, a lot of lawyers. There's a lot of lawyers involved as well as tech guys, because you can imagine you're dealing with sport betting. So, and this sector has a lot of different nuances and components to it. To whether it's esport gaming, where it's watching teams playing Dota or League of Legends, any of these types of games that, I mean, stadiums would sell out for these games. I mean, it's huge. To, you know, the Candy Crush, the Clash of Clans kind of stuff, which is a game of skill, to literally online betting, which is you bet on a sports team, so you're betting on someone else's skill, to then online gambling with, you know, Poker Stars, whatnot. And then you have this mesh of, okay, you're able to bet, but you're betting on your own skill. That license and that ability to fit in that niche means they create a platform where other people making games can go, oh, so if I made a cool game, I wouldn't have to try to go get a lawyer to go get licensed up to get this permit, to get this. We could go to their platform, make a game, put it on there, and they might host it. So there's a lot of different revenue channels that they can play with in a space that is, I especially anyone me and younger. I mean, because I like some games. They're going to get it. They're going to see Farmville. They're going to see Clash of Clans. They're going to see these games and realize, yeah, these things were massive. They're big. And that if you think I might be able to make a few bucks playing this thing as well, like during my off time, pretty cool. And once again, part of the nuance too is they're only looking for 10 to 14 minute game time play. Like, you're not committed to, like, I have to become a master at this and put 7 hours in at some video game like World of Warcraft. You got to play it all day long, and then maybe you can monetize somehow and get into a league. This is not that. So this is for everyone. It's on your mobile phone, and you can just be playing it, and it matches up your skill level. So I love this on a lot of levels, because I luckily have a background, you know, enjoying games, seeing where it could go. I see it. I can see it, no problem. It's just we need to convey this to generalist investors to see, okay, I get it, but where's the money? How's it going to work? What kind of scalability is it? But we're there. We're talking about it. It was a good chat, and I'm looking forward to getting some comments back on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And one little kind of tidbit of information that I'll just throw on top, going to kind of tie it into their current news release. They had a news release that actually came out this morning that they're going to be they've been invited to join the Skill Integrity Council for these type of skill-based reward games. Now, what I would kind of equate that to, and I made this comment to you yesterday, is we talk about ESG a lot in mining, and you know, you want to have environmental, social governance. You want to be making sure things are done in the right way that's friendly to the environment, friendly to the local area that you're in, wherever that is. This is kind of like the same thing for this market of making sure we have a group of developers who are adhering to the same standards, who are, you know, basically have this code of ethics that we have set out for ourselves, believe in, you know, regulatory procedure, integrity, transparency, all that kind of stuff. So that's really cool as well. So they're taking that approach of making sure, we want to do this, but we want to do this in a very ethical and fair and friendly way. To encourage, you know, fair, open competition, not, you know, sleazy gambling kind of feeling to it, which is really cool to me as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. It's us being able to branch out into sectors and finding, you know, ones that have asymmetric risk, like, you know, exponential upside with very limited downside. But we'll get more into that. It's just part of our philosophy. Let's jump on to, you know, I had the pleasure of speaking with Skylight Health Group, because we're going to talk about another whole different sector. We've got quite a few views off that already. So a lot of interest, and it's always tough when you start into a new sector. You know, a lot of people look at me as, you know, for energy and for mining and this kind of, you know, 5G future interconnected city of the world. But in that comes healthcare. I think most people would look and go, that's a hot topic. Doesn't matter if it's Canada or if it's the US, especially during COVID, is your ability to see a doctor, get some guidance. How does that work? How does that whole thing work? It's a tough conversation because it's obviously very political. It's very complicated. It can be expensive, all the moving parts, and especially in the US. But I would encourage you to check out the video with Skylight Health that we put out yesterday. A lot of good answers. It's a good intro, and we're gonna get down into the nitty gritty with them fairly soon. But this is a stock that has a very big upside, I believe, with what they're trying to do holistically with helping people. I think that they can change the market. And I think there's economically, they could certainly it's positive, but it's a really refreshing, holistic way that they could help to change the whole view of U.S. healthcare. And certainly very bright guys, very intelligent team, very driven, and they know what they're doing. Very compelling.
Yeah, it's really cool, and they're kind of way that they want to help smaller practices shift away from this fee-for-fee service and into value-based care. It's a really awesome, like, overarching message and theme, and then the team that they have in place is great. If for anyone who hasn't seen it, I encourage them to go check out the video that you did a couple days ago. I thought it was great. I thought yourself and Prad really kind of lay out the framework and how this works and what their overall goals are. It's a really cool opportunity. Like you said, healthcare gets politicized. It gets used as a political football a lot of the time, but it's something that affects each and every one of us. And if it can be done in a fair and balanced way, in a patient first positive kind of manner, that's the way I personally want to see it done. Whether you're a single payer healthcare system type person or multi-payer healthcare, regardless, if the patient's being valued first, that's what's important to me when I look at it, and that's what's really attractive about Skylight and the things that they're doing.
Yeah, and I've had a hand-on experience with the single pay where you go. Here, if you're sick, you don't get to see a doctor. So it's been over a year and a bit. You won't get to see one. You'll get to talk to one. But even before that, it would be you basically came in with one issue. I have this. Mm-hmm. They resolve it. Now out. Now you get like maybe 10 minutes because they're getting paid per transaction, and they're getting paid by the pharmaceutical company, a commission or whatever they want for prescribing certain drugs. For a lot of people to hear that, it gets very disillusioning because they think, oh my God, it's just capitalism. And that happens in Canada as well, by the way. So, and I'm not picking on doctors because there's lots of doctors that don't behave that way. There's lots. I've had ones in the past. I know people that have great doctors and are completely holistic, but there's plenty of out there as well that it's a machine. It's just come in, get out, order this, order that, and it's just money, and prescribe. And we see that that's a very U.S. market model. This is what helped. The FDA approved OxyContin and Purdue Pharma and Johnson & Johnson and Pfizer and all of these to push out OxyContin, which created that epidemic, which is still going on today. That kind of we're just going to sell you a drug. We're just going to push this on you. You've got 5 minutes to tell me what's wrong. You've got pain. Give you this. Out the door you go. That's not what I think. If anyone who's interested in medicine, who gets into medicine and wants to work with people, I think that most of them, I would say the vast majority, I'd like to have more time to actually, be able to evaluate someone, help them achieve their goals. And that becomes all aligned in a whole package rather than you came to see me about this and I'm just reacting by just prescribing that. So if we can just shift that model to you're incentivized to find holistic solutions for an entire person, you know what? That saves a ton of money on healthcare. I mean, it's kind of like having that conversation like, listen, don't eat this, eat some vegetables. I mean, you don't want to spend a lot in healthcare.
Put down the soda, have another water.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's your number one. But listen, I what they're up to is really cool. And it isn't just a policy play. Like they're not just changing policy to shift away. This is all big data. It's the same as with the gaming sector. It's all big data. The amount of data they collect and analyze and crunch to find out what's working, what's not, in what markets. Same thing with Skylight Health. They can look and see money's being wasted inefficiently over here with insurance companies. If we can save on that, they're going to be happy. But maybe there could be a way to reward a doctor for also helping in that process, and that then aligns economically as well as spiritually, holistically with the client or the person, the patient, that, outcomes are better. And it's once again, this kind of value-based outcome that I've been talking about for years of I'd rather make a good return and you're helping people rather than just make the easy money right off the bat. So this is a perfect example of that, saying, listen, I want my goals of what I invest in to also have a positive impact on people's lives. And this, as far as healthcare goes, is a very big step in the right direction.
Well, and to kind of put it into an easy framework for people, when you put that emphasis on the quality over the actual volume, it leads to improved outcomes for those patients, but that's also going to reduce the overall cost of providing that healthcare when you're looking, like when you're getting this emphasis on actual quality, right? So that's going to drive financial performance for the company as well, making it attractive from that side as well. So not only is what they're doing cool from an actual, hey, this is maybe how healthcare should be looked at standpoint, it's also, hey, there are really cool revenue opportunities for doing it this way as well.
Good. And I'm just going to give a shout out because we've been yapping too long as usual. It's always too fun just talking. We're going to have an update for Copper Bank. We're going to have an update for GMG as well.
Yes.
We'll have some videos out on both of those because, once again, those have responded very well in the last week, 10 days. So lots coming up for Friday. But listen, I got to get out there, jump on DME here and get this together. We're going to try and get it out to you as soon as possible. Reach out to us in the meantime. If you've got any questions, concerns, anything at all that you want to ask, we're going to get it for you. Listen, it was a big shocker for a lot of people yesterday, but there's going to be a good lesson to be learned in it overall. I feel confident in the long run. Let's see what answers we get for you, and we'll get this video out to you as soon as possible. You
betcha. And make sure that you're liked, subscribed, sign up to the website, follow us on all our social medias. You guys know the drill at this point. It helps us. Yeah. If you can help us with the YouTube algorithm, helps get the message to more people. We're able to tell cool stories, and hey, we love doing what we're doing. So we're just, we're happy we get to sit here and do this every day. Hey, Andrew.
Absolutely. Thanks for reminding us about that. Anyways, have a great day, everyone. Appreciate it. And we'll talk to you real soon.
Take care, guys.